Shreyas S. from Pallikaranai. I think the 11th and 12th graders here should pay attention to this. It's very, very relevant to you.
A warm namaste to one and all present here. My name is Shreyas and I'm from D.A.V school. Now, a month ago, it was 1st, 2025, I sped through the vast green plains of South India to go and visit my grandma and grandparents in the south state of Tamil Nadu. I rushed through the green plateaus and plains and rice paddies of South India, and I went and spent some time with both my old friend Jacob and my Pati Tata, as I call them. Now, I was feeling bored, and so I flipped through and I skimmed the newspaper of the day that I presented, and I felt like I was reading a familiar title. It was called The Great Indian Paradox. It said, the more you learn, the less you earn. And the rest went blah blah blah. That's how we read newspapers nowadays, don't we? Okay, the latter part is that I actually had a very surprising vacation. One, because I managed to complete all my holiday homework on time and not in the last moment. And two, because I actually was able to spend some quality time with grandparents and my teachers and my old friend Jacob. Me and Jacob were talking about life. And turns out,
One second.
sorry.
It's breaking the voice. We'll fix your mic. Okay, as Shreyas takes up another mic. So internships is interesting. How many of us plan to take up internships? So many of you. You do realize internships don't pay, no? You realize that? The hands have all gone down. Principal ma'am not here, okay. Yes, so you see what we've done at Hill Talks. We've tried to bring to you different categories and different subject experts. We have the students who are covering 6 different categories under the umbrella of HEAL. How many of you have heard of HEAL, the word? Nobody. Okay, so HEAL is the vision of this very school, this lovely institution that you all study under, and we are ready to go. So I will continue on HEAL in the next gap. Yes, back to you.
Namaste. Namaste. So that's what Jacob was telling me. He was saying he sees his life as a straight line. He doesn't see any scope for him to live his dream life. He doesn't see any scope to live a passionate life or to do something that he's really passionate about. Especially when being in a rural environment, that's something that's really hard to do. Even though he has maintained top ranks amongst his peers in both college and school, he finds that a very tough situation to be in. Now, after I came back to Chennai, I met with another friend whose name was Shastri. His sister Shruti had returned from the US after pursuing her master's abroad. Now, Shruti was a very intelligent person with excellent academic acumen and dignity. Now, Shruti had a bureau full of Olympiad trophies and certificates that nobody could doubt her intelligence and pure acumen. And yet, even she remained jobless. Now, Shreyas, what do you mean by jobless? I don't mean that you're not able to find a job, but I mean that you're lacking certain experiences and certain skill sets that are very much necessary for today's world. And that's what I call the great Indian paradox. The more you learn, the less you earn. You see, graduates nowadays are very much indecisive on their career, and they lack the amount of opportunities and exposures as various other countries around the world. Now, what do we plan on doing that? It's not just the case of Jacob or Shruti that I'm talking about. It's the case of 30% of educated Indians all over the world. And if you see behind, the graph just keeps going up and up and up. This is not going to be good for the future of India. And this is what we are about to do about it. Now, it's good that when putting someone in their desired career path creates a certain clarity for them, and even giving them practical experience prior to them joining their job, that's a whole different thing. And that's what I'm going to talk about, internships. Internships bring about prior practical experience into a graduate's career and a graduate's academic life. Now, I am completely aware that I am participating and I'm competing with various other players in the field, such as Internshala, LinkedIn, and various other small IT companies that are taking this initiative recently. Now, what do we do different and how do we outplay them, right? Now, we provide a win-win strategy situation for both the graduate and the certain IT company or corporate organization. We provide the corporate organization with a potential employment for future situations, and the graduates with practical job experience, thereby opening a window for change in their lives. Now, every single business has a financial aspect as well as certain situations that we have to work out. Now, I have worked out two situations, urban and rural, that is very, very critical in today's world. Urban situations will have online as well as offline courses and internships available for all types of graduates. And rural settings will have purely offline courses determined to build direct communication with both companies and continuous interaction with the graduates. Talking about finances and funding, we are highly dependent on not only crowdfunding and fundraisers, but we are also dependent on our investors. Now, investors are really important to a business, but we also acquire a small commission from both the corporate organization and our customers who are our graduates. We are totally reliant on the amount of quality graduates that use our service, and we are highly dependent on the investors and the amount of funding that we get. This is a small summary of what I have explained to you, but I have not just explained some business idea or the other. I want everyone to accept the truth that this educated unemployment is a poison or a disease in the academic society of today's world. And I call for a change for that, a change that will elevate India out of the great Indian paradox. Thank you.
Questions from the jury, please. Jury looks content.
Hi Shreyas, nice idea. It is really important that people find work and get some experience before they get into the real world, and also useful for businesses irrespective of what size they're at. But how will you kind of build your database of interns, and how will you qualify them, and how will you match them to a particular industry? Do you have a blueprint for that?
Yes, sir. So basically, people who graduate out of either college or high school, they will have their own interest area. Whether they're sure about it or not, we will put them towards their desired course, and using that course, they can figure out whether that's actually meant for them. So using that data, we will proceed, sir. Like, so if they figure out what it's actually, like whether it's actually meant for them, they are willing to continue that, and therefore they have found their career path for their life. If they haven't been satisfied with that certain course or career path, they will likely switch to a different path.
Yeah, hi Shreyas. Good presentation. So one question that I want to ask you is, let's say I didn't see your competitors, or let's say how are you going to, what is your, let's say, market opportunity? Are you going to focus only on, let's say, rural areas predominantly, or like what is the approach that you're going to have for your global market, or let's say you're focusing going to be only on India, or like who's your competitor and how are you going to make more money out of it?
Sir, actually, if you see, the problem is mostly dependent on the Indian market, whereas the abroad markets, foreign markets, have already found a solution for this. Therefore, there's more competition abroad. In the Indian market, only certain companies have identified this problem and have taken an initiative towards the solution. We intend, by doing so, with continuous interaction with the user and direct communication with the corporate communities, by establishing a connection between the graduates and the corporate organizations, not only in rural areas but also urban areas, sir. We provide equal importance to both rural and urban areas, sir.
So basically you're going to onboard them, train them, do an internship and place them, or let's say how this roadmap ends?
Sir, we are not responsible for placements. We are just there to show them what career path is right for their life, because it's their choice, it's their life. Because if you aren't passionate about doing something, you won't do it for your life. You can't do it for the rest of your life. We're just here for them to identify their spark, sir.
So Shreyas, it's a big problem right now, right?
Yes,
so people are not getting internship. That's a big problem. But here it is. The problem is not the people are educated and that they are not getting an internship, right? So the people are, everybody in India will be educated somehow, right? But they are not skilled enough to place in the companies,
yes,
right? So that's the problem here. So the main problem that you mentioned is different from what the problem it is in the real market. Right, companies do look out the people who are skilled enough to get into their place, take the jobs are done, right? So for us, our company, the peoples are very skilled, right? So even they are in a first year, second year of their college, but they are in a very advanced way they are thinking of in a AI world, right? So main focus on peoples who are skilled, right? Then they are not getting an internship means that's a problem right now, right? Peoples are already skilled, but they are not even getting an internship because right now the alternative is coming with AI agents and other things, right? People are replicated the same, the everyday jobs, it's automated by the AIs. So you need to really look out what are the specific, the real ground problem that you are taking up. It's not the educated unemployment, it is unskilled unemployment.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
you can do look out it, so you can get more about.
Yes, sir. I have also mentioned the lack of exposure. That means many people aren't able to express their talent and express their desire for a certain career path. It's just I say I want to become a doctor and I know that, but I don't know how the life of a doctor really is. So sir, it's not only just the skill, the lack of skill, but also the lack of opportunity, sir. But I do humbly accept your feedback, sir.
Yeah, good. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Shreyas, do you really want to become a doctor?
Not really. I made that up.
Otherwise, we have someone who could explain what the life looks like. Well, she'll be speaking soon. Any questions from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Shreyas, you picked up a global problem statement. This is not specific to India. Post-COVID, students are pushed into a corner. It's happening in US, where they call it as OPTs. It is happening in UK. It's happening in all markets, where students are struggling to get internships, which is part of their academic curriculum. somebody who's working with an industry academia initiatives for many years, I just wanted to share my thoughts. In addition to internships, you also have to look at apprenticeship programs. Okay, this is the global format, even in India. Even the government of India has realized that internships are proving to be a challenge, and they rolled out a program last year. Take Tamil Nadu, we have government of Tamil Nadu's program also, Naam Mudalvan, through which they are pushing internships. So post-internship, apprenticeship is very, very critical. Maybe that is what you should look at before you offer an employment straight. So it starts with an internship, then it goes to an apprenticeship for 1 or 2 years, and then it becomes a full-time employment. That is the flow. A key target segment for you should be the placement cells of the colleges. I'll tell you where the challenge is. No corporate entity accepts students for internships directly unless the request comes through the college placement cell. They're not entertaining because they have their own challenges. So you're working with Internshala, LinkedIn, all that is fine, and then you're trying to address the graduates directly. But your real target segment is actually the placement cells of the colleges, where they are responsible for driving the internships, because the internship letter has to go from the placement cell. And corporates are not willing to look at direct internships because it's part of the curriculum. When you really rotate through that, and so actually colleges recruitment cells are lost. They do not have stickiness with the corporates, but they have MOUs. So if you can actually address that space, you will build a very good bridge between the corporates and the colleges. Through internship, it becomes an automatic apprenticeship for about a year or two, and then they get into an employment. That is where some kind of a skilling happens. The challenge is today, I refuse to agree that students are not skilled. They have the skills of the future. It is the industry, the corporates, industry corridors which are extremely outdated. If there is going to be a survey in the country or globally to evaluate the skills of the people who are working in the industries, you will know how outdated the skills are. So this is the challenge. Industry is not, they're still with the minimum standards, but academic institutions are churning out the future skills. There also lies the gap. I just wanted you to understand all this a little more, do your own survey, your market study, and then position yourself. The right target segment for you is the placement cells of all the colleges. That's what it is. Even governments, everybody are working with them actually. Look at it from that angle. I think you will have a very, very focused target base for that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your feedback.
Audience, students. Students from the balcony? No? I thought I see a hand going up. Okay. We'll have just one question and move on.
I really liked your presentation. Can you share your own experience in internships?
Yes, thank you for your question. I have not experienced a true internship, but as I mentioned in the story, I have been with a friend who has been through this hard cycle. I have been with him through this journey, and he shared me his strain. He shared me that the pain that he could not live his dream life. And I identified the problem that internships have to be brought in over here. Though directly I have not been in an internship before.
Okay, thank you, Shreyas.
Thank you, ma'am.